Good morning, everybody. Actually, it's good afternoon now. It's hard to keep track of the days anymore. So I'll make sure my hair looks good for this camera. I don't have any hair products, so what I did was I actually use what's available to me. I actually used the lotion that the hospital gave me. So, as you can figure out by the picture and my words, I'm actually at a hospital. I'm actually specifically at a Swedish hospital in First Hill, so amazing hospital. So I want to share with you all, especially my loved ones, folks I care about, and my house sạch nhiệt, bong ôn sạch nhiệt. So to all the people that are in my life, this may prove a shock to you because I didn't make a public announcement. So, but a very dear friend of mine, Miss Erin Gwenup, she suggested I make these videos and post it on YouTube with the hopes of one to let the folks I care about know what happened, so that way they don't get curious why I just disappeared or got quiet all of a sudden, because I'm gonna be out for quite a little bit of a time here. Two, kind of more personal reason. It's kind of like a journal. So I'm lazy to write, so video journal is probably going to be easier. So something to go reflect on when I get past this. Three, I hope that if I share my experience and my perspective on how I experienced these things, um, all the stuff that's going on in the hospital, going on with my body and how it reacts, in hopes that folks that have loved ones that's going through the similar deal can understand, kind of like from a patient's perspective, or folks that are dealing with it now to know that are not alone in your pain and what you're going through as well, and the struggles. And three, if heaven forbid that you have to experience yourself, kind of know what to expect. And I hope that my videos will aid you in that as well. So, without further ado, let's talk about how I got here. So, a lot of you guys know. So, my name is Kim Sang, and I am a super duper active because I always thought my ADD or ADHD was my superpower. So, I just went with it. I didn't fight it. I embraced it. I rarely sleep because I'm working full time, working for my employer, Asia Pacific Cultural Center, teaching middle schoolers and high schoolers in the after school class with my partners Mane and Miss Inun and and even Ala. So I have an amazing crew over there. So we do a lot of work with the students and the community. I also teach Khmer language with the Cambodian Language Arts and Culture Academy, CLACA. So if you're interested, y'all can check it out. Look us up on Facebook and ask to join. But for now, it's going to be fairly inactive for a little while I'm out here. And a shout out to my CLACA family, all the parents that continue to support and make that program run for so long. So thank you so much. As well as my hobby my hobby crew. So I do the trading cards, at the trade shows, at the malls, and at swap meets with my daughter and my wife, and so I've made some really good friends with my hobby there, with the trading card and collectibles hobby. So I had an amazing run there. So those folks are probably wondering why I'm not showing up at the shows when they have them. And I rarely sleep because I do a lot of this stuff. And I thought that's what made me feel the way I did. I thought that because I was running ragged for so long, I rarely slept. Because even though my body may be trying to rest, my mind was not, because I was thinking about so many things. Whether it's about my mom, my family, finances, work, just everything and anything. My mind just gravitates and grabs onto it and it doesn't let go. So there were many nights that I didn't sleep, and I even cope with. I used it, and some folks in with ADHD have related to this said that they usually cope with alcohol. So I drank like a bottle of beer, or two bottles sometimes, or cans. Really, it's cheaper and I can recycle. So I thought that maybe that caught up with my body as well. I didn't overly drink, but like I said, I drank a can or two just to relax my mind, from the ADD. So, but that wasn't it. So in October, late October, last week October, that's when I started feeling really fatigued. Like I said, I thought it might be the alcohol drinking catching up with me, or my body not getting enough rest catching up with me, but I just felt so fatigued. And so I gave up alcohol cold turkey, tried to rest, and I slept a lot because I was tired. and it just, and then I thought maybe it was COVID, so I got tested at COVID like November 4th. Um, Came out negative the very next day, so it wasn't COVID, wasn't the flu, and it wasn't until Sunday, last Sunday. So today is the 23rd, so would have been Sunday, probably the 17th. I can't even really keep track of it anymore. My wife woke up in the morning and said, "Hey, dude, what's wrong with your arm?" And there was like on my elbow, there's a big old, this the whole thing was all black, just bruised. And I was like, I don't know, I didn't bump into anything, and it doesn't even hurt. So, but it was just huge black. So, you better, you better get that checked out. But I was like, no, I don't want to because I got to teach Khmer via Khmer language via Zoom later that day. But I didn't want to go to the hospital because I didn't know how long it was going to take. And I hate waiting. For those that know me, I'm ADD. I cannot wait. I cannot sit and wait. So I was like, I know I got to teach Khmer language, so I'm gonna spend my day prepping up for the language. But I was so tired, I couldn't keep my eyes open. My eyes just felt like a nerve just wanted to close. I was so tired. So notified my students that I wasn't going to be able to do the language lessons for Sunday, and just proceeded to just rest. But that night, it just, the arm bruise kind of really worried me. And then I started panicking. I woke up in the middle of the night and I started like looking in the mirror, looking at my back to see maybe if I have other odd bruisings. So that actually did worry me enough to say, hey, what if it's something wrong, like a blood clot or some weird stuff? So I did go to that following Monday. So last Monday, I actually did go to urgent care in Tacoma, and they admitted me and checked me in. I actually told them, it's like, I'm worried more about AFib, AFib or whatever, that heart disease, the heart murmur, heart irregularity, because I saw a commercial with this doctor lady, and she's saying, are you feeling this? And I'm a sucker for commercials. If it's on TV, it's got to be real, right? so I went inside, and I went to the doctor and said, hey, can you check my heart? Because I'm wondering if that's what's causing my fatigue, atrial fibrillation, and maybe that's why I'm so tired, and so they got the EKG, and it came out negative. They immediately saw, like, they started doing the lab test. They started drawing blood right away. So, and I was on rest. So EKG came back, looked good when, they monitor your heart rate. And it came back good. But then I started hearing the doctor on the phone talking about and then he was talking about me because he's a 44-year-old man, healthy blood, count from last year. He had this new treatment is causing me hiccups. But he said, last year's blood, because was good, but now he's like short on blood platelets, a red blood cell and platelet. He's gonna need a transfusion. So I'm like, oh crap, I think that's referring to me. So I'm a good eavesdropper. So just to warn y'all, I'm all up in that business, not business. So don't be talking rumors around me. That was an old ludicrous reference. I can justify because I'm old. So, but anyways, and sure enough, after he was done with the conversation, he actually came and informed me. So hit me pretty hard. Like I said, I was thinking, I had one thing, but it was completely something that's out of the blue. So blindsided me, and so it hit me pretty hard. I started tearing up, because it sounded pretty serious. So and I asked him, like, is how did this happen, and how did I not know about it? And he goes, it's probably something that happened over time, for a long period of time, and it just hit you now. But the only reason why, he goes, it's actually dangerously low. Your blood levels were dangerously low. So I think the only reason why you're able to function for this long is indicative of your good health. So I'm very thankful for that. So encourage you all to stay in good health. So and do what you can for that. So I waited. After that, I was told I'll need transfusions. So they were gonna send me to St. Joseph Hospital, just nearby. But unfortunately, with COVID levels the way they are, St. Joseph never had an opening. So I went in at 12:30. Around 9 o'clock is when they said, oh, we have a bed for you opening up. So, but it's all the way at Swedish Hospital. It's like, okay, we gotta do what we gotta do. So I got transferred to the hospital and told my wife and all that, and and that's where things got really serious. So they spent the first 2 days, that Monday night, they gave me blood transfusion, 2 units of red blood cells, 1 unit of platelets. So I actually felt better the very next day, like quote unquote normal in terms of like my strength and all that, and my mobility. but they're still trying to figure out what's causing my blood levels to be the way they are, why they're deteriorating, whether is it, is it coming out somewhere, but I don't have any weird bleedings anywhere. I don't, whether I go to the bathroom or cuts and that, I've never had odd bleeding. So that could only means like, what if it's, maybe my body's eating up the red blood, the cells themselves, or maybe my body's not generating enough blood. So, they did just a ton of blood labs, from HIV to Hep B to everything that could potentially cause where I'm at, and they all came negative. But it wasn't until the bone marrow biopsies is what came out. So they did the biopsy, which sucked, you guys. Oh my gosh, the bone marrow biopsy sucked. So they literally did it right on my back. And they did the bone on my back, like above my left butt cheek. So I can only compare it to a root canal for my butt, my butt bone. It sucks so bad. Because they were trying to get the red cells first of all out of my marrow to test it, but they couldn't get enough because it's not generating. And then they're like, "Oh, okay, we're gonna have to get the biopsy." Now, sorry, Kim. So the first time they couldn't get enough sample, so then they had to go, "Sorry, Kim, we got to go deeper." So they literally drilled deeper and got a bone marrow. I was like, "Oh my gosh, it sucks so bad." But I know they had to do it. I was very thankful. I thank the doctor for doing it. And she's like, as I'm tearing up, she goes, "I know it's hard for you to have to do that to me." So she's like, "Oh yeah, I've never had patients, thank us for hurting them, but thank you so much." Like, no, I truly mean it, because it's not easy for these folks to put their patients through pain and all that, but it's necessary to heal them. So end of story, not end of story, but we waited about 3 days before the results of the marrow came in, and sure enough, I had a condition called MDS, which is myelodysplastic syndrome, which is like a level that basically it's a stage before leukemia. If untreated, it leads to leukemia, so something a little more serious. So obviously I broke down again, and I just started crying in front of my doctor, because she was giving me the treatment. So it meant that I'm going to need to be treated with chemotherapy, a 7-week long chemotherapy, which I'm actually on the second day of right now. And I'll be monitored for 3 to 4 weeks after that to see how my body reacts and heals up. And then after that, I'm going to be treated at UW Hospital for the bone marrow transplants and transfusions and all that. So, and that one's a 2 to 3 month long. So, obviously that was hard hitting because of my activeness. I have a need to be active because I can't stay still. I lose my mind if I stay still. But and plus, I worried about being out of the equation of so many folks' life that I care about. Particularly, my mom, my wife and kid, and all my students, Tacoma Refugee Choir, and all my hobby folks as well. So and that was just to name a small bit, but I just, it was hard to to imagine myself out of the equation and how it would affect those people. So I just broke down, but I knew it was needed, and I knew I was in good hands. So the doctors explained it so well. They were so caring. The nurses were amazing as well. So, but a lot of that is, I also think that it's also the way I interacted with them as well. So if you all get anything out of this conversation here, is that the way you treat people matters a lot in the way people return that treatment. So I know it's an old cliche, but it is really amazing. It's the secret to receiving amazing care is really to be nice to people. So I had good conversations with all the nurses. I almost made friends with a lot of them. Actually, I can probably consider some of my friends right now, because I see them regularly, and they'll just hang out and chat with me for a while. The doctors are the same. So if anything, no matter what pain you're going through, and like I said, I had that moment where I kind of felt sorry for myself. It's like, how did I start trying to blame things? How did I get here? What caused my illness? Was it this? Was it work? Was it food? Was it this? Was it that? And the end result is, it doesn't matter. I got it. It's what's my part that I can do to get better? What can I do in conjunction with the medical care with the medical team to make it better. So, and a lot of it is with attitude. So, I had to literally suck up my own feelings and emotions. I had to suck up wanting to naturally feel sorry for myself, but I embraced where I'm at instead, embraced the people that were coming to aid me, and be thankful every day that they're making their darndest, best efforts to make me well, and so using all the resources available to them. So, like I said, for folks that are maybe going through some of this kind of pain, um, you know, I can totally understand the pain, but at the same time, be thankful that you still have a fighting chance. You're still here. You're able to watch this video, and I hope that you're at a place where you can find some strength, find some support, and don't be afraid to reach out to people that can provide the either emotional or verbal support, or any kind of support. So I'm a advocate for raising your hand. So you can't be helped if you're not heard, right? So keep that in mind as well. So be heard so that you can be helped. And of course, just to be thankful that you're still able to talk, or just make communicate, or just that you're still here, and do your very absolute best to do your part to get better. I hope to have more beneficial videos for you later on, kind of to document my 7-day chemo, how it's going. Obviously, I'm having a little bit challenges. This hiccup is a weird side effect of that. So I've been dealing with that for a couple of days now, because as you can see, they got a ton of fluids on me right now. So I'm being just filled with fluids daily, 24/7. So I'm hooked up to this machine who I named Fred. I think Fred's an underrated name, and I don't hear it enough. So my buddy Fred goes on walks and all that. So all right, y'all. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me and listening to my garble. I just like to veer off on a tangent sometimes. So thank you so much for spending your time with me, and I look forward to talking to you again and sharing my experiences. And I hope that you all can share your experiences of love and hardship, and that way we can all go through it together. So thank you so much. Y'all have a wonderful day. Okay, subscribe to